And we are back with some more Washington Capitals franchise mode in FHM 10. And in this one, we have the draft of year number 5 heading into year number 6, coming off a year where we made the playoffs for the first time in this GM mode. And not only did we make the playoffs, we made it to the 3rd round. So things are definitely looking up here for sure as we head into the draft of year number 5. And we're not picking until number 30. So let's get right into this draft and see who we end up with. Oh man, there's one 3-star potential left at this point. Roman Carmen. I do like his personality. Ratings are not very impressive, to be honest. Good passer. Good stick checker, decent positioning, 39 points last year in 42 games played, a 72 grade. There's Niemi, Stesko, Stesko, Valerius Stesko. Personality is all right. Now I think fantastic, but for where he is at right now, I think he definitely has the potential to crack the NHL roster at some point. Some good physical ratings, decent offensive and defensive ratings, which his mental ratings were better, but overall certainly seems like the best player available at the moment as far as NHL readiness goes anyway. Yeah, no one else is really comparing here. I think I'm gonna take Stesko. Welcome to the Washington Capitals, Valerius Stesko. And round number 2, you got 3 goaltenders up here, the 2.5-star potential, and then Turon, the 19-year-old defenseman. None of the goalies are really standing out. I think I'll take Yegor Shilov here. Good offensive ratings, good mental ratings, decent personality. 40 points last year in 54 games played in the VHL, and he's got that 2-star potential. Welcome to the Washington Capitals, Yegor Shilov. On to round number 3, we're down to mostly 2-star potentials now. Marcus Olsen doesn't look terrible. Got a good personality, some good offensive ratings in there. I know he's 19, but there's really not much in this draft, so I may as well. Round number 4, may as well take the goaltender Safin. I will take Sadio Kuner. Once again, 19 years of age, but it seems like most of the guys here are either 19 or 20 at this point. So it's not like there's really any better options. Yeah, this is a pretty weak draft. Yeah, not impressed. I think this is a situation where I'm just gonna skip the rest of the draft here. And there you go. We got Peter Kochetkov on our team. So with Prosvetov, Kochetkov, and Patera, we are, well, I won't say set to go in goal, but at the very least, we have everything covered. At this point, I don't think I want to wait for Ivankovic or Engstrom. They're taking way too long. This is our window right now. We can't afford to be sitting around waiting for Ivankovic or Engstrom. And last year, Patera was pretty good, 915 save percentage in 16 games played. But, I don't know how that's going to translate over a full season should he become the starter. As for Prosvetov, he's just been average at best while he's been here. And Kochetkov had a 910 save percentage last year in 31 games. Again, don't know how that's going to stretch over a full season. So it's the goaltending situation is still definitely up in the air here in Washington. Benson has not impressed over the past 2 years. Soto, not a fan of his defensive category. He hasn't even cracked the NHL yet. And every time he gets the chance of preseason, he just does not impress. Let's see, who's on the trade block? There's Hellebuck. I mean, he's been great in the simulation. Yeah, he's been fantastic in the simulation, actually. Depending on what Winnipeg's asking for, that might be worth it. See, if I give you Soto, Benson, Prosvetov, yeah, never mind. This isn't happening. This is not happening. This is way too much value. And they're not even close in terms of value. Yeah, that's Hellebuck's not happening. Oh, Sorokin's available as well. Not nearly as good as Hellebuck, but still has a pretty good track record in the simulation. Only played 28 games last year for Chicago. He has no movement clause and we're not on his list. So you can scratch that off as a possibility. Kyle Klang from Dallas. He had a 914 last year, 913 the year before. Played 70 games each year. Very good. Goals saved above average for the past 2 years. Good personality. Some good ratings all around. Not much of a track record in the playoffs for the most part, so can't really judge him there. Good contract as well. I think I might want to trade for him. This might be something I do. Whoa, they're really that high on him? They wouldn't even take Rausa either, in addition to all this. Yeah, that's not happening either, unfortunately. I thought for sure I'd be able to get Klang, but apparently not. Dallas is really high on him, despite the fact that he's on their trade block. The Rangers have 2 goaltenders on their trade block, Garand and Shesterkin. Shesterkin hasn't been bad for the most part. He had a shaky year number 2. Goals saved above average is slightly lower than the league average last year. And he only played 44 games as well. What about Garand? 902, 903, 894. No, thank you. I might consider Shesterkin. but that's gonna be a lot of trade value though. Yeah, we're not getting Shesterkin either. I mean, I will acknowledge that we do have a goaltender problem. We need some sort of solution in goal, but not at the, you know, expense of guys like, well, let me just see. What exactly would it take to trade for Shesterkin? It would take like Lambos or a Fanasev, or not even LaPierre gets it done on his own. It'd probably need to include a draft pick with that. Yeah, a second round pick. The combination of Protas and Phillips doesn't work. It would probably need to be Protas Phillips in a second. Ooh, Spencer Knight is available. He had a 914 last year in 50 games played. His track record is not that great though, at least not in the regular season. What about playoffs? Oh, he's barely been in the playoffs, poor guy. Maybe. I'll come back to him as a possibility. We could probably afford to trade Phillips. I mean, he's served us well for sure, but if he is able to push us over the edge when it comes to getting a goaltender, then I would not mind moving Phillips at all, if it means getting a good goaltender. Oh, Phillips for Knight works? Really? Yeah, I mean, we have guys who could take his place at this point. Carcone, DeRuio, might be able to call up Coots or Higgins. And then obviously you're going to have to trade most likely Prosvetov once we get Spencer Knight. But yeah, I mean, I am desperate for a solution in goal at this point, so I wouldn't mind doing this. And he's on a 1-year contract as well, so it's perfect. Yeah, I'm doing this. Matthew Phillips for Spencer Knight, offer trade. Let's see, is there any team who needs a goaltender that we could trade Prosvetov to? All right, if we retain half the cap on Prosvetov, we can make this work with Colorado for a third and a fourth. Yeah, I think that's worth it. And it's not like we're up against the cap ceiling right now anyway, right? So we could definitely afford to do this, especially assuming we get Spencer Knight, which is looking pretty likely. So yeah, let's do this. Offer trade. And there it is. The Colorado Avalanche and the St. Louis Blues have accepted our offers. So to the Colorado Avalanche will be Ivan Prosvetov with 50% of his salary retained for a third and a fourth round pick in the upcoming draft, complete trade. And to the St. Louis Blues will be Matthew Phillips in exchange for Spencer Knight, complete trade. There it is. A couple of big deals right there, which will hopefully put us in the right direction in terms of goaltending. And as of right now, we have over 13 million tied up in just goaltending, which I guess only proves how desperate we've been over the past couple of years for goaltending. But hopefully one of Kochetkov or Knight, or maybe both of them, can put up a better performance than we've seen in the past from our goaltenders. Now that I think about it, I probably could have just offered Zach Benson in exchange for Spencer Knight, and it probably would have worked, but whatever. I did want younger guys like DeRuio and Carcone to get more ice time anyways, so I think trading someone like Phillips was necessary in trying to achieve that, but we shall see how that affects our roster moving forward. Whoa, Makar is on the trade block? After 1 year in Vegas, they're already trying to get rid of him? He doesn't have a no movement clause, so I mean, this is going to take an arm and a leg to trade for, but I just want to see how much it costs. Yeah, not even Lambos, Afanasev, Knight, LaPierre, and Crystal is doing it. Yeah, this isn't happening. Lambos, Afanasev, Misa, and 2 first-round picks doesn't do it for Makar. Just for the record, I wasn't looking to trade someone like Misa. I just wanted to see how much it would actually take to acquire Makar, and even our most valuable assets don't get the deal done. I can't even get a third for these two combined. Soto and Benson. I can get 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and a 6th, but not a third. Interesting. Hold up. I can get Liam Ruck, but not a third. Oh man, there is not enough value placed on players that haven't been signed. Like I'm not gonna do this honestly, because it seems like something that just wouldn't happen. But there's no way I should be able to make this work with just Benson and Soto for a 4.5-star potential player at 20 years of age. It's not like he isn't even NHL ready either. He's NHL ready. You know what? I'll just take the draft picks. The rights to Benson and Soto to Arizona for 2 fourths, 2 fifths, and a 6th. Because I don't see either of them cracking the roster at this point. Especially Benson. He's just not impressed over the past 2 seasons that he's been on the roster. And at this point in the GM mode, I'm going to start being more picky with who we have in our bottom 6, you know? There it is. Trade accepted for the Arizona Coyotes. Sending Zach Benson and Matthew Soto for a lot of draft picks. And the Hall of Fame induction, you have Patrice Bergeron, Matthew Schneider, Bobby Smith, and Pat Verbeek. All right, so we are at the start of the regular season of year number 6 now, and I did end up deciding to sign Cutter Gauthier. He wasn't asking for too much money. I got him signed for 1.4 for 2 years, and he does bring some physicality to the lineup, unlike Benson or Soto. Now, before we move on, there is one trade I want to make. I want to trade Jacob Melanson. He hasn't really been good, to be honest, while he's been with us. 53 grade last year, 54 the year before. Not really much of a point getter, and I look at his hits, only 48 and 50. Over the past 2 years. So it's not like he's contributing much there either. 47 defensive grade during the preseason this year, and that's been pretty consistent with how he's performed defensively during the regular season the past 2 years. So I think we're going to trade him here. All right, so we're going to be sending him to the Calgary Flames in exchange for a 3rd and 4th round pick offer trade. And there it is. The Calgary Flames have accepted our trade. Let's complete it. And with that, our roster of 23 is now set for the start of the regular season. You have Kochetkov and Knight in goal. On defense, you have Lambos, Galvis, Lynn, York, Cameron, Levshunov, and Huang. And at forward, Afanasev, Lapierre, Crystal, Suzdalev, Protas, Kartai, Misa, Artamanov, Lind, Gauthier, DeRuio, Carconi, Coots, and Hagens. Just get a couple months of simulating done before we end things off here. So let's go up to, I would say December 1st. All right, so we're on December 1st, and we are 14-5-2. Safe to say that at this point, this is a pretty good team now. I mean, we're 1st in the conference, 5th in the league, and let's check out the team stats. Goals for per game, we're actually only 17th in the league. I thought that would be much higher. Our goals against per game, 2.81, 2nd in the league, right behind Columbus. Faceoffs, we're 5th in the league with a 52%. Power play, we are, 28th in the league with a 15.4. So offense still, unfortunately, not our strong suit, it seems, but the defense and I would presume goaltending has definitely made up for that. Penalty kill 13th with an 81.8. So let's take a look at how all the guys are doing here. So we'll check out in goal first. Kochetkov in 4 games played with an 890 save percentage, and Spencer Knight in 18 games played. It looks like we finally have ourselves a goaltender with a 922 save percentage. I mean, obviously it's still early. Anything could happen, but it seems we finally have ourselves someone who can be relied upon. And now defensively, you have Carson Lambos with 13 points on the back end, Levshunov and Huang with 12, Cameron with 8, Lynn with 6 and 12 games played, Galvis with 5, and York with 3. And at forward, you have 18 points for Afanasev, 16 for Suzdalev, 13 for Artamanov and Misa, 12 for Crystal, Kartai, and Carconi, and Lapierre, 11 for Protas, 7 for Lind, 3 for DeRuio and Hagens, 2 for Coots, and 1 for Cutter Gauthier. And I think with that all being done, we will end this one off here. So in the next one, we will continue and likely finish, at the very least, the regular season of year number 6. And depending on how things go, we might even simulate through the entire playoffs. So I'll see you guys in the next one.